Well, hello, Shell Point. We're privileged to have Dr. Goforth with us in the studio today. And Dr. Goforth has been here at Shell Point for about the last year. And I don't know if you've had a chance to meet him or have him treat you, but we're very privileged to have him as the head of our medical team here at Shell Point now. And something you may not know about Dr. Goforth is that he has been going to international mission trips to do medical help for folks in underserved areas since, when did you say, the 19...
I really started in the early 90s.
In the early 90s. So for many years, and not just for several times a year, he's done over 50 of these trips and been all over the world to just about every continent.
Yes, been to every continent except Antarctica, and it's too cold to go there.
I think the penguins are probably fine without your help. So that's a tremendous amount of experience, Dr. Goforth. Tell us, what is it like to go to one of these areas and help folks out with medical needs?
Well, I, from an early age, really wanted to do medical missions work, and most of my career has been in short-term, 1 to 2 week medical mission trips, and I have found these just transforming. I've had many team members tell me that made all the difference in the world. It changed their outlook of the world. I've taken all of my children on these trips when they were between 12 and 14.
That's a life changer.
And it really does change your life. You see how the rest of the world is different. You're able to make an impact there. And I think most importantly, as a Christian community, I found that with medical missions, I can get in almost any country. I've been to the People's Republic of China, to Vietnam, places where communism was alive and well.
Yes.
And yet they would accept medical help, and we could share the gospel through that.
That's amazing. And I'm sure folks are extremely grateful for the help when you come into one of these underserved areas.
Yeah, they're absolutely grateful. I call it an end-of-the-road medical missions. We don't go to places where there's large cities and medical centers. We go to small villages. Typically, they're 30 minutes to 2 hours outside the city where we stay, and they really are extremely grateful for the care you provide.
Well, that is really tremendous. Now, the thing that we're also here to talk about today is that there's another upcoming trip in March 15th through 23rd, coming right up. But we have the opportunity to invite some folks to come along, don't we?
I'm very, very excited about this opportunity for our Shell Point residents and staff. I've been going to Olanchito, Honduras on an annual basis since 1997.
Wow.
So
this place you've been to quite a bit.
I know this area. It's actually a pretty nice place to go. If people have never done a medical missions trip, this is a very comfortable first trip.
Okay, so it's not too scary. There's a comfortable place to stay in a hotel.
We do. I'm a Rotarian as well, and one of my Rotary friends owns the hotel that we stay at.
So it's not like eating snakes and bugs. There's like regular food and...
There is.
Okay.
We've got a lady named Rosemary that's been cooking for us since '97, and she does Honduran meals part of the time. Some Western meals, but it's good and it's safe.
Now, in the mission that you go under here, it's Volunteers in Medical Missions, VIMM, and these folks seem to have their act together as far as being able to get economical travel, get the best prices on things, and putting these groups together. So it's a fairly easy thing to do if you decide to go, isn't it? I mean, it's in terms of the preparation, and they can help with all the logistics.
Right. Volunteers in Medical Missions is a great organization. It's based out of Seneca, South Carolina, and I've actually worked with them for many years. I currently serve as chairman of their board, and I've been a team leader since the '90s with them. But they've got a staff in Seneca that arrange all the airfares. They get the best prices you can get. We have a host in country. For Honduras, Pastor Victor Gomez has been our host there, and he's a pastor there, and he arranges all of the transportation in country, the meals, gets all the details lined up. He works out which villages we're going to provide clinics in.
It's a well-organized operation.
Basically, you sign up, fill out an application, pay for your expenses on the trip, and that's all you have to do.
Great. Now, okay, it's a medical thing. Do I have to be a doctor or a nurse to go on one of these trips?
That's a very common question, and you know, we actually have hardly any problem getting doctors and nurses. The area that we often need help in is the non-medical
Okay.
position.
And what would the non-medical folks, if just a regular, person that's interested, what would they be doing on this trip?
So we're running primary care clinics, and we'll have 200 to 500 people a day
Wow.
walk in to be seen. And so there's some people I need for crowd control, just to help make sure people get through the line.
Anybody can do that.
We also, all the patients love to get their vitamins, and they like to be dewormed.
Okay.
And so we have
there's a lot of
station.
handing out of medicine and supplies to be done.
So you can give out deworming pills and vitamins. We also have an evangelism station because this is a Christian ministry that focuses on spiritual and physical healing.
So some folks might want to be involved with that.
Yeah, if they're Spanish speakers, they can do even more. They can share the gospel. We also have a lot of children. Most of these families will have 3 to 5 children, so there's lots of kids around.
All right, so if somebody's interested in kids, there's plenty to do with the kids.
Yeah, people, they'll bring toys and play with the children, and we had a guy that blew up balloons for years, and he would write the happy faces on them, and that they're still telling me.
So it sounds like if someone has an interest, they're going to have a job that they can do.
Absolutely. I can use anybody. I can use people of all types. And we're also going to have some jobs prior to the trip. Because we see so many patients, we pre-package our pills. And so, for example, if we're giving out antibiotics, we'll pre-package a week's worth of antibiotics. And
so perhaps somebody can even help, if they can't go on the trip, they can help with that even in preparation.
Absolutely.
Terrific. Now, so if someone would like to get involved with this, either to help with the prep or to sign up and go on trip, what's their first step? How do they get the information they need?
First thing I would do is look in the Shell Point Life magazine for December. The next to last page is a whole article about the trip.
There we go, in the magazine.
I would encourage them to go to the Volunteers in Medical Missions website at vimm.org. They can read about the organization and this specific trip there. Or if they just want to come by the medical center and talk to me about it, I'm glad to speak with them.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming into the studio today. It's so great to learn a little bit more about you and your passion for medical missions, and to hear about this great opportunity for our residents and staff. So if you'd like to go on an adventure with Dr. Goforth, I think it'll change your life.